All right, YouTube, what is up? Welcome back. Let me check the audio, make sure it's not distorted here. Ooh, that sounds pretty good. What is up, YouTube? It's good to see you guys. Doing a live stream today, so we're going to be live for, I don't know, maybe an hour here on YouTube. Run over some coins with you guys. Do some technical analysis, baby. It's going to be a good time. So let's go ahead and get the link sharing for anybody that doesn't have the link. Should just pop up right when I go to YouTube, and then I can share it to Discord. Also, you guys, another day, another dollar in the crypto space, or another Satoshi as we like to say. Share this in the Discord. Hope you guys have had an awesome week. I know it's Wednesday, just in the middle of the week, but I wanted to go live. So here we are. And we'll get it to where you guys can see my screen here too as well in just a second. Going to be doing technical analysis on top cryptos. I did ask the Discord group what coins you guys want me to run over. I know there's a lot of coins you guys are holding, and a lot of people are wondering, what's going on with crypto. Obviously, a lot of news out there. Not all of it's good. Let me make sure it's not distorting. Hello? Hello? I guess it just sounds like it's distorting, but it's not. It's come through good. You guys just let me know if the audio has any issues, but I think it's good. So let's get my screen sharing here, baby, and we'll get straight into the live stream. By the way, if you enjoy this kind of live setting, definitely apply for the mastermind. Links are in the description, because we do this kind of live setting every single week. And it's even better because you get direct questions with me and all the mastermind packages and the VIP and everything. So yeah, it's a really, really good thing we're doing. Help you guys make money and prepare yourself for the big pumps coming in crypto, baby. So let's start off with Bitcoin. Bitcoin being the mothership. Everybody knows this already. Bitcoin is up to $21,000 per coin. So take that, bears. Everybody that was bearish, take that. It's not that big of a climb yet. We still have a lot of resistance to push through, obviously. But it is a good start. And whenever you get like a cup like this, where price has reestablished itself, in other words, it didn't just come up and hit resistance and then go lower. It actually came right back up to that resistance level and reestablished itself. That is a very good sign. That's a very, very good sign. If it goes up to resistance and it just rejects and doesn't even make it up to resistance again, then that's weakness. But we did push right up through this resistance level, and we did reverse in kind of a rounded shape right there, and that's really good. What's up, everybody? Come on, Dallin, everything is fine. Yeah, I know everything is fine, bro. Can you guys see my screen? I should switched it to where you guys can see my screen. I think you guys should be able to see my screen. Let me know if you guys can see the screen. Oh, you're talking about the audio. Everything's fine with the audio. You're not talking about the markets. That makes sense. Yeah, let me know if you guys can see the screen. I think everything should be working though. So, back to Bitcoin. Check this out. BTC up to 21,000. Now, let's go ahead and check the 45-minute time frame and see what's going on here. Now, we don't trade these time frames, so anything that I'm talking about in this time frame is just pretty much conjecture. Just giving you guys an idea of what I think could happen. As you guys know, on this channel, we're truly only focused on the big picture. It actually is one of the reasons I get a lot of haters, because everybody wants to just put money in and then pull it out in the same day and do that over and over. But Warren Buffett doesn't day trade, and you should probably ask yourself why. Why is the most wealthy investor in the entire planet invest his money rather than day trade? Ask yourself that question for a minute, and then you'll start to get some answers. So we are overbought. Like, if we're going to be 100% honest, in the short term, we're overbought. We're at resistance. We did a parabolic run just like we did a parabolic crash right here. You guys can see that was a very parabolic crash, dumped straight down, and then we just pumped right back up. That's what I mean by this kind of cup shape. That's actually a good sign as far as a bigger picture reversal, for it to have a strong buyback like that instead of, like I said, a lower high would have been really bad, but we had a pretty strong buyback. So in the short term, we are overbought. And as far as what could happen in the next few days with this market and the crypto space, you know, it could pull back. We can easily pull back to 18,000, 19,000. Like I said, I don't trade the short term, so don't go throw BitMEX positions and start taking short positions and then go, Dallin, you said it was going to drop, and then it just pumped. It just kept pumping, because that's always possible too. But I will give you guys my personal opinion. We are overbought. It wouldn't shock me one bit to see 19,000 or even 18,000 tested in the short term. Okay. But let's go back to the big picture, because as I said, why does Warren Buffett invest in the big picture instead of day trade? There's good reason for it. There really is. Now, in the big picture, we are still looking at an expanded flat. So I've been talking about this expanded flat on this channel for I don't know how long now, like pretty much since even before we had our lows in down here where we started to get a reversal. I've been talking about a potential expanded flat and watching it since at least June or July. For literally months now, we've been watching this. Okay, and there's a reason for that. It's because I love this trading pattern. It doesn't pop up all the time. It's not like you see it every day, but the expanded flat is pretty much exactly like an ABC correction or a normal correction, in the sense that it provides an excellent opportunity for investors to buy oversold conditions and invest when the market is low, when people are scared. Now, this C wave down here, that thing that's labeled C, we call that the terminal end of a correction. So let me show you where the last time one of these terminal ends of a correction happened, okay? Because it changed my life. So the first time a terminal end of a correction happened was in 2015, when I stumbled upon crypto because of my little brother, put money in, and then it went to 20,000 per coin. The second time that the terminal end of a correction happened was here in 2018. You guys can see, what's this right here? From 3,000 up to 14,000, you saw a big move come because the terminal end of a correction, right? That is where the sellers have exhausted their selling momentum. There's no more selling pressure left. Everything in this market works based on law and principle. So whenever you have a lot of people selling their coin, that's going to drive prices lower to a certain extent. Once those body of sellers are gone, or in other words, once there's no longer any sellers left, you guys, can you seriously not see my screen? Oh, you guys can see my screen. I just didn't hit the live button. Okay, cool. I was about to say, I'm like 5 minutes or 10 minutes into this. I'm so glad you guys can see my screen. That would have sucked. Okay. So there's a big body of sellers, right? And at the top of the market, there's a huge body of sellers. We're talking whales. The people that move markets are taking profits at the top of markets. That drives the price lower and lower and lower. At some point, there's so few selling pressure left, or in other words, there's there is a smaller body of sellers left over, that it creates the terminal end of a correction or the end of a bear market. Okay? So whenever the selling pressure flips by buying pressure, in other words, buying demand becomes larger than selling pressure. Once buying demand becomes larger than selling pressure, you reach the bottom of a bear market. That's science, just like physics, right? If you drop a ball, it's going to hit the ground. Physics. The same thing happens with markets, except it's a little bit maybe less simple than just dropping a ball. But the fact of the matter is these markets move based on law and principle. So once the demand is high enough and the selling pressure is low enough, the market reverses. So that's what happened here at 3,000. Bitcoin went up to 14,000. This is called a short squeeze event. Okay, this pump right here from 3,000 up to 14,000 is a short squeeze. Or in other words, the people that were left, the body of sellers that are left, there's always still going to be some sellers left, right? You can't convince 100% of everybody to stop selling and start buying. But the fact of the matter is the big players move the market. They're called market makers. The term we use in crypto is called whale, right? A whale is somebody that moves the market. Somebody is a market maker. So at the bottom of the market makers are buying. But there's still enough retail money or new investors or people that don't know what they're doing that are trying to sell the bottom that we get what's called a short squeeze. So those people that are shorting or just merely selling, they might just be selling, right? Spot selling, just selling it for, US dollars instead of shorting the market with margin or leverage. There's enough of those people left over that you get a short squeeze. In other words, all of those people that have huge short positions, that think they know that the market's going to go lower, that think that they're smarter than the market makers, get squeezed. That is why price goes from 3,000 to 14,000. Well, almost, 14,000 basically here. 13,000, 14. That is why price was able to go from 3,000 to 14,000 so quickly at the terminal end of the last bear market, the wave C, okay? Because the buyer demand was very large, in other words, market makers, institutions, people that are smarter than average people were buying the market. They were able to push the price up, wrecking all of the new investors that think that their short positions are going to be right. All of those investors get liquidated by about halfway up, and then that releases even more pressure, and the market goes all the way to 14,000, right? That was why Bitcoin was able to go from 3,000 to 14,000 so quickly. So the reason I like ABC corrections, like an expanded flat, like we see here, is the same reason that I like normal ABC corrections, which I just showed you back here. Because it doesn't matter if it's a regular ABC, or in other words, a zigzag, a regular zigzag ABC, or an expanded flat zigzag ABC. Wave C, or the terminal end of the correction, is always the point where buying demand is higher than selling pressure. Now, trying to convince the public of this is nearly impossible because most of the public or most retail investors lose money. They do not have the emotional resilience, persistence, or even willpower or patience or faith to buy where the market makers buy. They listen to the news. They listen to what's cool, right? That's why they buy the top and then sell the bottom, because it's cool to be in crypto in 2021 when Dogecoin was almost at $1 and Bitcoin was at 69,000 per coin and everybody was excited about it. But now here in 2023, where engagement on crypto videos or channels is lower, where search trends are significantly lower, it is no longer cool. So they sell. But market makers look for that. They look for this exact psychology. They are happy and excited when the market looks like it does now. So, if you want to know the secret to getting rich, close your door, go in a dark room, or it doesn't have to be dark. Close your door, go in a room where you're alone, stop listening to everybody else, and buy when there's blood in the streets. That is the secret to getting rich. Hopefully that's helpful for you guys. But I'm dead serious. Warren Buffett said basically the exact same thing. I'm almost paraphrasing a Warren Buffett quote. He said almost exactly that same thing. Okay? So, great artist steal, I guess, or whatever. Although I wouldn't consider myself the greatest artist ever. I've done a lot of really stupid stuff in my life. So, 5 waves up here, ABC correction. This could potentially be the terminal end of an ABC correction, in which case, and I firmly believe it is, because volume climax is another very important thing to be aware of. The last time we had a volume climax like this was the COVID drop in 2020, where Bitcoin, after it tested 14,000, had to come back down and reclaim support around 3,000, about 3,500, before it went to 69,000. So this right here, the COVID drop in March of 2020, fix that circle. The COVID drop in March of 2020 corresponds to our last volume climax, where volume spiked, which was the last best opportunity for buying since the bottom in 2018 at 3,000. So we have another volume climax again, you guys. We have another massive. In fact, if you want to talk about buyer's demand, we're actually trading more crypto right now than we ever have in human history. So if you're looking for a signal that shows buyer demand, we are nearly 10 times the amount of volume that led to Bitcoin going to 69,000 per coin. Okay? So this is my view on Bitcoin in the big picture. I do believe that it will see continuation, that $20,000 per Bitcoin, or even our bottom at around 16,000, is undervalued. This is undervaluation inside of the market. So a big picture continuation is what I personally expect. Now, I don't think the price is going to go like that, right? I do think it could be pretty steep. I will say it could be steeper than your average Joe thinks, okay? It could make a pretty sharp U-shape. Just a bigger version of what happened right here on a smaller scale that we were looking at earlier, where the price came right back up and cupped. That wouldn't surprise me. But it's not just going to go like this, right? That is ridiculous. So give the market some time, but as far as what I believe is going to happen, and what I actually would pretty much bet my life on happening, is that Bitcoin sees a big U-shaped reversal here and continuation above its all-time high, which could take, maybe even till the end of 2023 to get back to its all-time high. I don't know. It could take all year. It could take 6 months. We could be up there in 6 months and then start a mini bear market, not a full-blown like we just had. on at least on some coins like altcoins, right? It could come back down and once it hits resistance. But this is all speculative at this point. What I'd rather have you guys focus on is the fact that prices are undervalued. That the general consensus of the public or the people that lose money investing in markets is that they should be selling or taking money out or having a large portion of their portfolios in Tether. And I'm debunking that today by showing you guys that the market is undervalued. We're undervalued. So the name of the game now is to be holding, putting Tether in, buying. And this isn't financial advice. You guys know the drill, whatever, blah, 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 disclaimer. But the fact of the matter is this market is undervalued. People are more afraid than they should be. Blood is in the streets. Even though we went up 20% on the last week, blood is still in the streets, you guys, in crypto. And I'm not talking about short term, like I said. The thing we focus on in this channel is the big picture swings, the big picture moves. That's why we're investing in Bitcoin all through this period. Making Moonboy podcast videos. If you guys were there during the Moonboy podcast, huge shout out to you guys. Continually making content about cryptocurrency being undervalued. And most channels were calling for 1K. And I'm not saying I'm better than everybody, whatever. But the fact of the matter is, I was one of the very few channels on the entire internet that saw what was truly going on and told people to invest in crypto at 3,000 before it went to 69,000. And I saw people change their entire lives because of that move. Financially, in a meaningful way. Some people it was 50K, other people it's, 100K. Other people I saw make multi-million dollars because they bought the dip. You can be that person. You really can. What is up? How come you and Donovan aren't friends anymore? Well, that's, it's kind of like, I wouldn't say we're not friends. That's all I'll say. Whole 2022, there was blood in the streets. Yes, you're 100% right, man. 2022 was blood in the streets. I believe 2023 could be a big, big deal for crypto. And the people that take advantage of that fear and take advantage of the blood, they will look back at these videos or they'll look back at themselves and say, man, I was so smart. I bought the dip. I did the right thing. What is up, Crypto Rick? The Moonboy podcast was a really good time. Really good time. So let's focus on some other coins. Now I did, by the way, you guys, I did ask the VIP group what coins they want me to run over today. So we're going to run over some of those coins. And we'll run over some of the coins that you guys want as well. So, by the way, huge shout out to everybody tuning in today. I know it's in the middle of the week and kind of a random time, like 3 p.m. But when you're inspired to hop on a live stream, you got to do what you got to do. There we go. My light went off. Sorry, guys. All right. So, what about BSV BTC? Yeah, so I start with BTC, but you guys know I am a huge BSV guy. And it's another kind of thing that I did that kind of committed suicide on my channel. When I start talking about how passionate I am about BSV because I truly believe in it, I got a whole bunch of haters. But I'm going to be myself and I don't care what you guys say. I'm going to do what I know to be true and what I know to be not only financially correct, but true. And the fact of the matter is BSV is a great coin. True Bitcoin. It's the real Bitcoin. If you guys don't know, Satoshi Nakamoto aka Craig Wright, created this coin. And I know I get a lot of hate, a lot of controversy for this, but I'll tell you guys what I truly believe. Because this coin will make you rich if you invest in it. So, this is a falling wedge pattern. This is exactly what Bitcoin did recently. Bitcoin was able to get up to 20,000. BSV, because Bitcoin broke out, is lagging behind. Obviously, if Bitcoin breaks out, there can be a short-term, people might panic sell their BSV. Because people have a tendency to see them as competing with each other. So, pretty much where I expect BSV to go, and this is BSV Tether. The Bitcoin pair, I'm not going to run over today, but I am bullish on it because I believe that a lot of coins will outperform Bitcoin in the bull market. And in every single bull market that has ever happened, altcoins outperform Bitcoin. Now, BSV isn't an altcoin. It is the real Bitcoin, so you can't really call it an altcoin, but it will do the same thing that altcoins will, which is outperform versus Bitcoin. Because when people get excited, they start to put their money in things that are higher risk, higher reward. So that's why in bull markets, the altcoins pump versus Bitcoin. BSV is no exception. So what I believe in the short term is, well, Bitcoin kind of pulls back a little bit. Like I said, in the short term, Bitcoin could be overvalued. I would not be shocked to see 19,000, 18,000 tested again. It could just keep pumping, right? But I wouldn't be shocked to see those levels tested. What I'm watching for BSV is a run back up to around 63. And that would be my short-term view on BSV. Now, if you want to look at my big picture view, go watch my previous BSV videos on my channel, where I talk about some of my bigger picture targets. But that wedge will play out just like it did on Bitcoin. BTC will go to zero eventually. You hang on to that dream. You can call me a dreamer, bro. But just you wait until you have to eat your own words. BSV BTC going to plunge. No, Jesus. By the way, first of all, nice name. I didn't realize Jesus was tuning into the live stream today. BSV BTC will pump in the bull market. Okay? BSV will go to zero. BTC will go to zero eventually. So I want to actually address that comment. So I'm in the camp of people, and even I make everybody mad. I'll be honest with you. I make the Bitcoiners mad. I make the BTCers mad. I make everybody mad. I make the BCHers mad. You know why? It's because I do technical analysis and I trade market cycles. So I'm going to tell you what I see in the charts. And what I see in the charts is that Bitcoin will go to 100,000 per coin. Now, BSV will outperform Bitcoin in that same period, or in other words, having your money in BSV, and I should stop calling Bitcoin BTC. That's the other way I make them mad. And it probably confuses everybody that's new, too. For you guys that don't know, BSV and BTC are two different coins, but BSV is the real Bitcoin created by Craig Wright, okay? Satoshi Nakamoto. Now, oh, you're saying that he thinks it's streaming if it's going to zero. Okay, that makes more sense, Roger. So you're with me then, huh? So, back to what I was saying, you guys. BTC will go to zero eventually. Maybe. I mean, people don't use dial-up internet anymore. So if that gives you an idea, dial-up internet basically went to zero. So, but in the meantime, as far as what the charts are telling me, I do suspect that Bitcoin will go to 100,000 per coin, at least. And BSV, the real Bitcoin, I need to call Bitcoin BTC, I know. The real Bitcoin, BSV, will outperform BTC in that same period. Or in other words, having a majority, or at least half of your capital in BSV, will be the smarter choice during the bull market. That's what the charts tell me. I'm a technical analyst. That's why I make the whole BSV community mad and the BTC community mad. That's why I make everybody mad. But at least you guys get to make money if you listen to the charts and the big picture here. There's no value in BTC. BSV is a whole different technology. Now, Austin, I agree with you that BTC is dial-up internet. As far as the technology goes, BTC is dial-up internet in comparison to BSV. And it doesn't take a genius to figure that out. All you have to do is go do a little bit of research. And BCH is like dial-up internet with a sticker that says I'm cool. But with that being said, it took time for people to switch from dial-up internet to Google Fiber. So while the momentum and the hype is still here in the crypto space, BTC will get a portion of that market cap. Now, more BSV will do a higher percentage gain. You'll make more money in BSV. But BTC will gain it is worse than dial-up internet, basically. But it's a great example to use. And I still love, BTC as far as when I first got into crypto. BTC changed my life. It really changed my life. It went from me literally having $5 to my name to making a lot of money in my early 20s, of which I will not disclose the exact amounts. But BTC changed my life, right? But it's really slow. And if you use BSV, you'll see right away that it's way better. So let's stop talking about that. Let's start talking about cryptos that you guys want to look over. You guys, $60 per BSV is my short-term view. Falling wedge breakout just like Bitcoin. I picked up some Telcoin and XLM. So Shiba Inu. Let's see if Shiba Inu. We'll do Shiba Inu Ether. I believe this would be it. Wow. This one's straight pumping. This does not have enough data for me to do analysis on. Unless you're talking about Shiba Inu. See, there's so many coins out there that are really small. So let's focus on coins that are bigger market cap. I love you guys. I love you guys sharing with me your smaller market cap coins, and I highly encourage you guys to learn how to invest. My friend made a lot of money investing in low caps. But let's focus on higher cap coins today. It'll be a little bit easier for more of the public to understand. So let's look in the VIP, and you guys don't get to see the top secret stuff in here. But we will in the VIP lounge. We will look at some of the coins you guys suggested. So Holo. Let's do this. This is one that's a little bit more to the public. It's a bigger market cap coin. Holo Chain is one a lot of people are going to be aware of. So at the start of this live stream, I discussed with you guys ABC corrections and why we buy the terminal end. The point where The body of sellers is smaller than the body of buyers. The demand of buyers is higher. The end of a correction. This is a great example of a regular zigzag correction here on Holo. Now, what these corrections have a tendency to do is fully retrace. This is why people can't handle crypto unless they know what's going on, unless you learn how to handle the swings. Because a 99% retrace will pretty much send anybody into a depression phase of the market cycle, right? We call that the depression phase. When it's retraced, that's a 94% drop from its peak. You can see why now 90% of people lose money in the markets. It's because 90% of people cannot handle the amount of volatility. Very few people can stomach a 94% drop. And I understand, having hundreds of thousands of dollars and then coming back and seeing $25,000 or something, or whatever you have left. It is hard to see that. Now, if you started out with $5 to your name and then you became crypto rich, you can kind of stomach it enough to say, well, before crypto, I was completely broke, so at least I'm doing better than that, right? But that's a big drop, and it's easy to sell. But this is the kind of shakeout that institutions use to get retail to sell. That's why 90% of people sell down here, because it's hard to stomach that kind of a loss, right? But that is exactly what I'm talking about when I say blood in the streets. Or in other words, if you want to know the secret to getting rich, close your door, be alone, don't look at the news, and buy blood in the streets. This is a prime example of exactly what I'm talking about. Because just as it's a 94% drop down, if you put our percentage gain from the bottom even up to wave B, that's 747%. That's 7.5 times your money from the lows up to wave B, right here. So the percentage gain from that up is so worth it. It's so worth it. Especially since in the big picture, if you have patience, a lot of times these coins will break their all-time high again. Okay, so but don't focus on that. For now, I just want you guys to focus on this, because that can take time. That can take years, right? I don't want you to think it's going to be happening anytime soon in the sense of 6 months or whatever. That could be 2 years out before we break the all-time high here on Holo. But the opportunity at the bottom of a 94% drop is the type of opportunity that does turn somebody into having, $5 to their name to 500,000 or 2.6 million or whatever number you end up making, right? It's investing in the blood in the streets and then holding on for 1-2 years that gives you that opportunity. So as far as H, I don't want you to think it's going to pump straight up. You guys, I'm sorry if I make it look like it's just going to go straight vertical. But it will recover. This market is going to recover. And when it does, that B wave is often tested. So that's a 7.5 times gain from the lows up to that first resistance, first major resistance. So that is a great coin, by the way. Don't be attached to the ticker. Stack real Satoshis. Good job. Yeah, I agree. It's easy to get attached to stuff, man. So always be willing to be like water, as Bruce Lee would say. If something isn't a good investment and you see one that is, there's a real thing called opportunity cost. And if you have your money in a bunch of crappy investments and then Dogecoin does 20x or whatever and you didn't invest in it because you thought it was a meme coin, you got wrecked because of opportunity cost. Even if you still make money, you can still wish you had made more. And to avoid that, don't get attached to ticker symbols. So, Chronos. Crypto.com. Actually. So this is internet bubble type stuff. Okay? Now I don't say that meaning that this isn't going to recover. If you go back and look at the top stocks in the internet bubble, you know, you could have invested at the bottom of the internet bubble after the crash happened. You could have made 55 times on a lot of stocks or more if you buy the bottom of a bubble crash. The media and the news likes to use the word bubble because it makes people sound like they shouldn't invest in it. But everybody's still using the internet today. So buying the bottom of a bubble after the crash is actually buying blood in the streets. That is how you change your life financially. Because, by the way, having a bunch of money isn't going to change every single part of your life. Get that idea out of your head right now. Money will make you more of who you are. If you're a generous person, you got a bunch of money, you'll be super generous. Okay? But you can change your financial status by investing in something like this. This is an ABC correction again. Okay? And it looks dead. D-E-A-D. Dead. But when I first got into Bitcoin in 2015, it looked dead. And in 2018, when it was at 3,000, everybody thought it was going to go to 1,000, and it didn't. It went to 69,000. So buying things that look dead can be profitable if you know what you're doing. And in the case of Crypto.com, this is a big coin. I mean, I know a lot of people that have Crypto.com debit cards. You see in MMA, I think it's the MMA that has Crypto.com sponsors, right? This coin is probably not going anywhere, even though it's down 90%. So if you can keep that vision of what's going to happen in the next few years, this is opportunity presenting itself right before your eyes. So yeah, in this case, that B wave is quite a bit higher. The first places I would be looking, because of how high that B wave is in comparison to the C, would probably be wave A or even this resistance at about 23 cents. So those levels would be that next spot where price can rally to, and it won't happen overnight. It's not going to be straight vertical. I don't know how many times I have to say that, but just to make sure you guys know, it can rally up to that. Just like when Bitcoin went from 3,000 to 14,000, which I'm going to show you the chart. It's called a short squeeze event. Crypto.com can do the same thing. From 3,000 to 14,000 here on Bitcoin. A lot of coins are set up for this. Short squeeze. Okay, so that's kind of my views on Matic. Yeah, let's run over Matic. John G. Sheffield. Yeah, so at the start of this live stream, we did actually talk about Bitcoin going to 18,000 in the short term. That wouldn't surprise me. But I don't think it'll drop below 16. So we'll see what happens, but 18,000 in the short term, 19,000 wouldn't surprise me. Okay? Also, don't be surprised if it keeps pumping. I don't trade the short term. We trade the bigger cycles. We like to buy after something like this happens, where the market's down 80, 90%. This is what we like to buy. So we can buy down here. That is what we like to do. So I'm not trading if Bitcoin goes down to 18. I'm not going to sell my coin or anything. But it wouldn't shock me to see it do that. So yeah, a lot of coins in the bigger picture, or in other words, in the next 6 months to a year, are set up to do what Bitcoin did from 3,000 to 14, starting to make those bigger picture reversals. Okay, Matic. Back to Matic. Don't want to get lost here. By the way, thank you guys again for everybody tuning in. I know it's in the middle of the week, in the middle of the day. Most of you guys probably have normal jobs or stuff like that, so thank you guys for taking the time to tune in. I really appreciate it. So Matic is another example of an expanded flat. So if you missed at the start of this stream, it will be available for later viewing. Go watch the start of the first half of this stream, because we talked about the difference between a regular zigzag correction and an expanded flat correction. This is an expanded flat correction. This is what the S&P 500 did, which I'll show you, back in 2008. And if you guys don't have a lot of money to invest in crypto, maybe you're new, that's the beauty about crypto. Even a small amount. I started with virtually nothing, actually, and then I built my way up to $1,000. And then my first $100,000, my first $500K, right? So you can start with really small amounts. So here we go. Okay, this is the same kind of thing that happened to the S&P 500. And I've been talking about the similarities between the internet bubble and crypto. This is another example of those similarities. Okay, here's an expanded flat on the S&P 500. Starts to recover. A lot of people would have tried to short it here, thinking it was going to go for another big leg down, right? But it didn't, because the selling pressure was smaller than the buyer's demand. That's when a bottom occurs. Look how similar that is, you guys. Remember how I'm always saying human psychology repeats itself? This is a great example of how human psychology repeats itself. A lot of people will be shorting Matic right here, expecting a big secondary leg lower. But the fact of the matter is, buyer's demand is now higher than selling pressure. So this could easily do a full recovery in price. In fact, that's what I expect to happen. Alan Gomes, crypto is a scam, crash coming. Get out of our chat, dude. You're not welcome here. If you think crypto's going to 18,000, like Bitcoin's going to go to 18,000 in the short term, that's not even really a crash, but I'll say yeah, probably. But if you think crypto as a whole is a complete scam, you're not even welcome on this channel, dude. I'll be honest. Because crypto is not a scam. It's just technology. All right? People thought the internet was freaking evil when it came out, and that it was gonna be dead or wasn't gonna become anything, and then now everybody uses it. And guess what? Your life would suck without it, probably. So get out of here, Alan. Are you open to charting Digibyte? Yes. Let's do a Digibyte chart, man. This one is awesome. Here's a classic coin. One that's been around for a long time. It's been through a pretty big retracement here, you can see, but the whole space has. This is normal. Very normal. So let's go ahead and pull up a zigzag correction. We're going to copy this. Okay, this is what I'm talking about by ABC corrections. Nobody thinks it's going to be a good opportunity down here. Like I said, 90% of people lose money investing because they either don't have the vision or they don't have the ability to stomach large losses. This is a 96% correction from the peak. But I've bought 96% corrections multiple different times that had complete and total recoveries. So that's actually something to look for. Not saying everything that's down 96% automatically equals it has to recover. That's not what I'm saying at all. But buying blood in the street is the exact strategy that professional investors use. So this is a prime example of an ABC correction on Digibyte. As the market as a whole recovers, Digibyte is not going to be left behind. I'll tell you right now. The first resistance levels will be that wave A. The second one will be that wave B. Okay? Do you think I should invest in Blockbuster Video? Once the internet dies, videotapes are coming back. Oh, Roger. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Everything in life changes and evolves. Old things die away and new things are born. Okay? That's what crypto is, the old monetary system, fiat. Remember when people had to send letters to each other to talk to each other? And I'm not hating on sending letters. It's cool if you still do it. In fact, there's kind of I still have a record player because it's cool, and I like listening to Earl Nightingale records in the mornings on my record player. But 90% of my audio stuff is done on my iPhone, right? Old things die away and new things are born. So crypto is a replacement to the old system. It's not a scam. It's going to stay. It's not going anywhere. Do you have longer term targets for Digibyte? My bigger picture target, I don't really feel comfortable disclosing to the public. Well, screw it. I'll just do it for you. A lot of these coins in the next couple of years are very likely to break their all-time highs. Not every single one. A lot of coins will die too. There's coins that will die. Not every crypto succeeds. But if it's on Binance and it has high trading volume, give it a couple of years and these coins can break their all-time highs again. Very few people will believe me. I'm used to receiving a lot of hate for this type of stuff at the bottoms, but that's what I firmly believe. So, over 18 cents? Yes. Over 18 cents. Okay, let's see. AXS. So this one looks a lot like Solana. In fact, Solana and AXS are virtually identical looking. If you compare so here's an example of a market cycle on Bitcoin on the bottom. Right? Nobody wants to buy down here. Nobody wants to buy when crypto isn't cool to invest in it. They want to buy in 2021 or 2017 or 2014 when everybody's like, well, crypto's the coolest thing. So Solana here, like back to what I was talking about. Solana here on the bottom. Wow. I don't know. There we go. And AXS are virtually identical. I mean, try to tell me a difference between these two charts, right? They're spitting images of each other. Human psychology repeats over and over and over again. We don't change. Right? We don't. we're humans and we're creatures of biology. So our minds are all wired in similar ways. We all think differently, we all have unique characteristics, and we all are quite different in our own ways. But mass human psychology repeats itself, and that's why you get cycles and market cycles, and why investors can see patterns and then trade those patterns and make money on them. So as far as this goes with AXS, I'll show you the same thing that I show my Solana people, which is the fact that, where is it? Is the fact that just like how I said, human emotion never changes, and it doesn't matter if it's cryptocurrencies or stocks or anything. It doesn't change. All right. Costco in the early 90s, before I was even born, because I was born in 1997, was a spitting image of AXS right now. So a big picture rounded bottom. Now this can take a year, right? It could be a year before we come back up to all-time highs. But a big picture rounded bottom is what I personally see coming in AXS. And I'm excited, you guys. I'm so hyped about crypto. I sold my car. I'm trying to put all the money possible in. My car that I fell in love with that had like this super nice sound system and was worth a bunch of money that I paid cash for. I didn't have any debt on it at all. Sold that, selling a lot of my gold, antiquities that I have in gold, solid gold, things like that. I'm selling to put into crypto, doing everything I possibly can to get money in this market. Okay, that's just what I'm doing. So, take it or leave it. This isn't financial advice on this channel. You guys know the drill, disclaimer, whatever. But I will tell you what I honestly think will happen in this market. So, you guys can get rich. I'm talking rich investing in crypto and holding on for 1 to 2 years. You'll start to really see the returns. Give it even a little bit longer than that, and you'll be rich. It's just whether you have the vision to do it or not. The foresight, the ability to see beyond the present moment where it's no longer cool to be in crypto. And if you have that vision, that persistence, and that faith, and you put money in now, you will be rewarded, I promise you. It works. It really does. Uh-oh. Lag spike. Okay, let's go back to the VIP group and run over. So we already ran over Crow, BSV. Let's do Chainlink. Chainlink is a great coin. This is an OG project right here. Not OG in the sense of it's been around for a long time, but in the sense that this is a good coin. This is a solid investment. In my personal and professional, after 7 years of doing this, opinion. So here's a falling wedge pattern. That little falling wedge is at the very start of this live stream that we discussed on why Bitcoin went to 21,000. This is a bigger version of that little wedge. In fact, this is a huge version of that little wedge. And this is exactly what we look for, is these types of big picture blood in the streets, right? Not blood in the streets. Well, I mean, if you're a short-term trader, blood in the street works for you as well, right? But as far as the strategies that we use, get that crappy Microsoft ads out of the way. As far as the strategies that we use, this is what we look for. Big picture blood in the streets. go look into Chainlink. It's a great coin. Do your own research. It's a great project. And if we want to take a little bit of time on this one, what generally happens is once you start to base out, so you usually go sideways for a minute at the bottoms, right? But once you start to base out, the first place you test is that A wave, and then the second place is going to be that B wave. So you get an A, B, and a C wave correction. By the way, if you enjoy this kind of live stream type content, apply for the mastermind below, and we can meet every single Saturday to get live stream sessions like this. But they're even more directed, and you get all the VIP information as well. So apply for that if you enjoy this kind of setting. So, A, B, C down. A big picture reversal could take you to $14. Like I said, wave A, and then wave B would be $37. Now, I want to reiterate the fact that that doesn't happen overnight, that could be 1 year, even 1.5 years away before we reach $37. But I do think it will happen. That's what I'm seeing in the chart. So, thank you, Crypto Rick. I've been kind of doing these live streams. I did one, I think last week or the week before. Might do more of them. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So, that's my view on Chainlink, which has obviously been suggested. This is the VIP group. Like I said, we're not going to share with you guys any of the VIP entries in here, but I did ask the VIP group what coins we wanted to run over in today's stream. So I'm picking some out of here as well as some of you guys' suggestions. So yeah, keep suggestions coming. If you have a coin that you want me to run over, I'll probably only be live streaming for another 20 minutes or so. Well, I'm already an hour in, so 10 minutes. Definitely make your suggestions now. I'm not going to be doing this live stream all day. But I did want to hop on and provide some value for you guys. Help you guys get some pro tips from what I've learned. ETC. So, ETC is an interesting coin. I probably won't do a lot of analysis on this one for you today, but I will show you that it has an ABC correction. So if you want to learn a little bit more, go look into zigzag corrections. Here's an example of one here. Go to Google, type in zigzag ABC. This is like basic Elliott wave theory. First thing you should learn, ABCs and 5 waves up. ETC is an example of one of these. So as money starts to come into BTC and the bigger market cap names, it will trickle down into these other coins. And they all get a portion of that market share. You can see in 2021, ETC did very well. In fact, it did 47 times in value very well. So as money comes into the bigger names, you get these little ones, and they do popcorn cycles, we often call them, where they pump really hard, really fast. But you want to take your profits because you know the crash is coming afterwards, right? So, let's see. Hey, Dallin, can we look at Woo? I don't think I've ever done TA on this one. Ever. So this will be fun. So, this one we're just going to talk about the short term because this is basically following Bitcoin. And the short term did a wedge, just like how Bitcoin did, and broke up to about 20 cents. In the short term, it could easily pull back a little bit here, okay? Just understand Bitcoin could too. Bitcoin went from 16 to 20,000 pretty fast. Coming back down to 18,000 wouldn't surprise me, right? So in the short term, it could pull back a little bit. Now we will talk a little bit about the big picture. This is an APC as well. A, B, and C. So as long as support holds, that A wave would be that next place to watch, is about 37 cents. Okay? So I think the first half of 2023 is going to be really good for crypto. So that's kind of my view, that the first half for 2023 is going to be nice. We're going to be making money. A lot of coins are going to be short squeezing because there's so many people that are over leveraged, expecting downward movement, and there's so many people that are what we call perma bearish, basically meaning that because the market's low, because it's not cool anymore, because the general consensus of people is crypto's gone, dead, they get too bearish. So I think the first half of 2023, we're going to see a lot of recovering in these coins. Not to say that they're going to pump 7,000% in a week, but we're going to see some recovery happen. A little bit of relief off of the downward movement we've seen. So yeah, that would be my view on Woo. It's from 19 cents to 30 cents. What a good name. That's good marketing. Woo! And we're almost done, you guys. I'm like an hour and 6 minutes in, but I'll run over a few more for you guys. And huge thank you. Again, if you enjoy this live stream type stuff, apply for the mastermind. I'd love to have you on the team. We have a lot of fun. And you learn the best of the best stuff. So, okay, let's look over a couple more here. We already ran over Link. Dot, Shiba, Chiliz. Let's do Chiliz. Chiliz is a huge, this is one I'm very, very bullish on. So this is one I definitely feel would be good for you guys. And I'll slow down a little bit too here on this one. So Chiliz is another wedge. We broke out of that wedge, right? And if you see here, prices start to break out. They hit the A wave. So remember how I was telling you that when markets bottom earlier in the stream, they often go to that A wave, and then that next place they go is going to be wave B. That's the first thing Chiliz did. It went straight for wave A. Then it saw some resistance. It pulled back a little bit. But I think a double bottom here is pretty likely, that we'll start to go up for that B wave here on Chiliz. And this project is one of the ones that I think will do very well in 2023. I'll just say it right now. I think Chiliz is going to be on fire in 2023. So that's why I've been making videos about it, talking about it. My VIPs have like super clear charting of where I expect price to go for Chiliz. But for you guys, and a lot of you guys are VIPs, so huge shout out and thank you. That wave B is that next spot that I'll be watching. That's about 55 cents. It's gonna, and rounded bottoms are also, the market likes to have a symmetrical structure. It's geometry that creates these shapes. So you will get a symmetrical rounded kind of shape. And then when it really takes off, once the rounding stops, it goes parabolic, or in other words, it starts to ramp up and gets faster and faster and faster. And that's where we get moves like this, right? That's a parabolic move where it's going straight vertical, just straight up. But it takes time and it takes momentum to get there. But the first half of 2023 should be pretty good for Chiliz. So, all right. I don't see any other suggestions here in the chat. So yeah, we'll call it a day. But huge thank you for tuning into the live stream. I love you guys. And if you want me to do more live streams like this, I'm not going to do it every week. It really is, this kind of structure is reserved for my mastermind program, but I will be doing these probably more in the future, and most likely. And I think they're a lot of fun. So if you enjoy this kind of thing, let me know. Apply for the mastermind below if you want this every week. And I look forward to seeing you guys in future videos and live streams. First half of 2023 should be really good for crypto. I'm going to hold true to that. And just watch. You know, people think crypto is dead now. It's the same story over and over again. Buy when there's blood in the streets and you will be rewarded. And when I say buy, again, this isn't financial advice. I can't legally say that. Can't legally say I'm a financial advisor or anything like that. This isn't financial advice, you guys. It's my trading journal. But with that being said, I firmly believe that's what's coming. So thank you for tuning in. And as always, stay profitable out there.